Jason here, OC Flooring Inspection. All right, let's talk a little bit about moisture testing while I drive of your concrete slab, okay? So listen, why is it important to moisture test prior to the installation of your flooring product? Well, think of the concrete slab like your body. You know, you're gonna go in, maybe you're gonna do a marathon, or maybe somebody's pregnant or whatever. You wanna get a checkup, you wanna know where your body is at that time, right? Before you do something. So you get your blood pressure taken, you get your blood drawn, you get your heart rate, you get your weight, height, all these things, right? To kind of, so they can get an idea of how your body is at that time. Same thing with a slab. So if you're gonna put wood flooring or you're gonna put a resilient floor in, it's important to test your concrete slab, not only for warranty purposes, but you don't want to have to deal with a moisture problem later on with your slab, right? Mold, cupping, warping, buckling, all kinds of things can happen, right? That can damage that floor. So you really want to protect that investment. So what better way than to do some moisture testing? Now I use moisture testing kind of broadly because there's the relative humidity test, the moisture vapor emission rate test, and we can do a topical, and also we can drill in and get a moisture content test as well, right? So these are some things that we want to do prior to installing. A relative humidity test is when you drill into the slab, you prepare it, and then you come back and you test the relative humidity, which is actually water vapor in that airspace at that time. And why is this important? Well, if it's high, it can give you an indication of what things are going to be in the future when you cover that slab with a floor covering, okay? So it's just kind of, doesn't really give you the moisture content, but it helps to give you an indication where things can be in the future. The calcium chloride test or moisture vapor emission rate test is where you basically prepare a concrete substrate by grinding that surface to a concrete surface profile of 1 or 2 at least. Then you're going to put a plastic dome over that with a desiccant in there, which is the form of an anhydrous calcium chloride pellets, and you pre-weigh that, and then you wait 60 to 72 hours, and you're going to then weigh that again and then get that number and put that into equation, which is going to give you your moisture vapor emission rate per 1,000 square feet per 24 hours, right? So if, let's just say it comes back and you have 8 pounds per 1,000 square feet per 24 hours, that's roughly, a gallon of water. So if you were to do the math on that and times that by 30 days, that's a lot of it's a lot of gallons of water, isn't it? So you can do the math on that. So that's the other test. That's kind of a flawed test, and it's not done correctly a lot, and they hardly survive a job site or even a home residential project for that matter, because they got to sit there unaffected for 60 to 72 hours, and people like to kick those over. Then you have your moisture content test with an impedance meter that you can do on the surface, and you can also drill in with some meters and then put a probe or put an attachment in there, and you can get the moisture content of that slab. Okay, so these are the ways that we can really tell the health of the slab, see what's going on, and from there you can make an informed decision going forward. Okay, and it's always nice to kind of do these tests closer to the installation as possible. If you have a big gap in between, you may have to test again. Kind of like doing a credit check before you buy a house, right? You get that pre-qualification. Well, they're going to do another credit check, 30 days later or as you get closer, right, to make sure that it's the same, or to see what's going on. Well, same with moisture. If you're getting the slab tested months prior, you might want to do it again as you get closer to get a more accurate information. And something that's often always overlooked is that there really has to be a moisture vapor plastic sheeting underneath that slab and in direct contact with the bottom of that slab, okay, to prevent an infinite source of moisture vapor coming up from the bottom of the slab. So and all these tests are assuming that's in place and it's effective. I mean, if you have a 30, 40, 50, 60-year-old home, chances are that has more than likely degraded or has been compromised. And so you have to really think about putting maybe a class 1 vapor barrier on top of that slab. So I always tell people, approach these slabs. Now, I'm not talking about new slabs, I'm talking about older slabs right now. To approach these slabs as if they are compromised, and let's discuss some type of moisture suppression system that's going to work for your product and give you peace of mind down the road. It's really just insurance, right? So yeah, it may cost a little bit of money, but not nearly to what it's going to cost if you had to replace everything, and you don't want to go through that. Okay guys, well, I hope this helps. If you need me to come out and do some moisture testing for you, I'm certified with the ICRI, and I can provide any or all of these tests for you so that you have that documentation to preserve your warranty and you know exactly the health of your slab at that time. You can give me a call, 949-355-3501. Thanks a lot.